The evolution of Israel's take on the Kalashnikov rifle, with serious improvements on the system. The IWI Galil differed from the AK in a number of ways. It was chambered for 5.56 NATO, used a 35-round mag, had a built-in bipod that doubled as a wire cutter, and for some reason a handguard that features a bottle opener, like a bottle cap remover. A side folding skirt and stock was also standard, but the gun was heavy and overall a 20th century fossil. IWI took into modernizing the Galil, and as such the ACE rifle was born. The weight was reduced from 4.35 kilos to 3.44 kilos for the 5.56 ACE-23, thanks to the polymer lower. It still uses a Kalashnikov long-stroke gas piston system. The charging handle has been moved to the left side of the gun and is protected by a dust cover. The ACE-23 also features a last round bolt open system that facilitates quick reloads. The barrel is a chrome-lined, cold hammer-forged 18-inch one, 460mm. For us it used a metric system. That grants phenomenal accuracy and durability. Also due to the barrel quality, the gun achieves a blitzing muzzle velocity of 913 meters per second, with standard issue 5.56 ammo, such as M855 ball. The skeleton buttstock was replaced by an AR-15 style adjustable buttstock that grants the user better cheek weld, while still allowing it to be folded in a way that doesn't interfere with the firing mechanism and remaining ergonomic features. For further improvement on the accuracy department, the trigger has been improved as well. This one is molded on the two-stage trigger of the M1 Garand rifle. Although an adapter for the M16 style mags might be available, the ACE-23 feeds from the original 35-round Galil magazines, which complements well the 700 RPM rate of fire. Since the spring patch, the ACE has seen some balance employed to it. Yet, the ammo count improvement is obvious. This was done to bring the gun more in line with its real-life counterpart, and to this I say, thank you, Dice LA. I mean, that's exactly what we need. More realism in the guns. It just balances out. As soon as you get that done, things will work much better. You're still failing with the AK, still failing with the AK-12, you're still failing with basically every single Russian gun in the game, as well as some other guns like the M16, but I'll get to that later. Not on this video though. So, on to the stats. The ACE-23 deals 24.5 damage up to 12.5 meters, when it starts to drop off until 60 meters, then dealing 18 damage, standard with most assault rifles, not counting Scar H and Bulldog that have different damage modules. That makes the rifle a 5-shot kill to the torso up to 45 meters and a 2-shot headshot kill up to 19 meters, also standard with most assault rifles. It has a competitive rate of fire of 770 rounds per minute. That's 70 rounds per minute faster than its real-life counterpart. I'm kind of conflicted on making this one in line with the real-life counterpart, because the 770 RPM kind of works. It gives it a little bit more versatility. A muzzle velocity of 620 meters per second, like the rest of the assault rifles, the ACE-23 is zeroed at 50 meters. This has been done since the spring patch to counter the head glitching thing. It now has a capacity of 35+1 in a chamber that grants a skilled player an extra kill per mag, that is in theory, but also comes in handy for ammo conservation since a long reload takes 3.4 seconds and a short reload 2.3 seconds. The recoil is average, 0.36 vertical or 0.468 with a heavy barrel, which I strongly agree, I strongly recommend. A 0.17 to the left and a mild pull to the right of 0.27 that is. A decrease of 18 per second and the standard first shot recoil multiplier of 2.25. This is more or less common amongst 5.56 assault rifles that are not bullpup. Which means your first shot will have an elevation of 0.81 degrees or 1.053 with a heavy barrel. That might sound steep, but remember that's just the first shot. After that you get the 4.68 with the heavy barrels. It's not really that much. It might sound like a lot, but it isn't. The spread of the ACE seems to be that all of the assault rifle spread is basically balanced around the ACE-23s. Therefore, it has a spread increase of 0.1, a decrease of 10.5, and a moving penalty of 1. That is basically saying it has a standard base spread of 0.2. Of course, you cut that in half with a heavy barrel. Talking about the heavy barrel, as soon as you employ it, your spread increase gets reduced to 0.0925, and your moving penalty spread gets reduced to 0.8497. That's a big number, but it still is actually quite less and maintains the gun quite accurate even on the move. And heavy barrel, once you really get the recoil down, you might want to employ angle grip. That will help a lot if you're using the heavy barrel. Yet I would advise against it, since the spread decrease per second is a little bit on the short side. So you might want to stay away from grips with this gun in particular. Well, anything that fires more than 700 rounds per minute, really grips. I don't think they're really necessary. Maybe the angle grip really would work well in this gun, but so would the vertical grip. The sub grip, really, there is no need. Although it has been buffed and really almost counters the penalty it has, but still, that extra time on the spread decrease, if you are about accuracy, that is a really bad thing. And especially, I see a lot of people tap firing this gun. I myself, I fire short bursts, but yeah. Now, there is another thing I would like to talk about here. It has to do with another gun in the ACE family, which happens to be the most popular ACE variant, which is the ACE-32. This one is like the ACE-23, but it is chambered for 7.62 by 39. And I think that would, if brought to Battlefield 4 and say a second weapons crate DLC, that would be quite interesting. Because since we do have the Groza 1, which is 7.62 by 39, and the RPK-74M, which has now been rechambered for that caliber, and now also well, not now, since the beginning of the game, the SKS, I think an assault rifle would fall in line, since it is actually a very popular caliber nowadays. So, I actually went ahead and envisioned some stats for it. The max damage would be 30, then starting to drop off at 12.5 meters, like most assault rifles, and at 55 meters would deal 18.5. Now, this would be basically the same damage that would be dealt around that distance with the 5.56. In essence, you will be able to outgun 5.56 at most ranges, but since the low recoil, and we'll get to that later, I'll explain that better later, there still is a good reason to use 5.56 ACE-23 over the ACE-32. The rate of fire would be 650 to fall in line with the real-life counterpart. The muzzle velocity, since currently we are, this has to do with the current system of muzzle velocities, I would say 480 meters per second of muzzle velocity would more or less be in line. It's still slower than the SHARE, but faster than the Bulldog. Hence putting it more or less in the mid-range combat, not long range like the SHARE, not close range like the Bulldog, not as close range as like the Bulldog. Moving muzzle velocity when suppressed by about 300 meters per second, that would be more or less average. And the magazine count, since this ACE-32 uses AK magazines, I would say 30 plus 1 would be just obvious. Now, the reload, since the AK, the 7.62 by 39 version of the ACE-32, does not have the same bolt hold open of the ACE-23, the reload naturally will take a little bit longer, about 3.6 seconds for the long reload, whilst the gun is empty, and 2.4 seconds without one in the chamber. This to basically put in an animation, just because it looks cool, like the one employed in the AN-94, for example. Recoil vertical, we're talking about a much more powerful round than the 5.56, so 0.48 vertical. And a recoil to the left of 0.2 and to the right of 0.34 with a multiplier of 3. This to basically say, yeah, you can use this gun at range, but it's not going to be as easy as using the ACE-23. a spread increase of 0.12. This has to do with the balance for the damage per second. And a spread decrease of 9.5. We're talking about a heavier round that causes more recoil, and recoil is tied to the spread decrease as well as the spread increase. And a moving penalty, the standard moving penalty of 1, and the base spread of 2, normal. Now I really don't see why this gun wouldn't be included. This way you really will still have a unique gun. It will not basically outgun those guns that are made for close quarters. It will not outright outgun the guns that are made for long range. It is more or less in the mid-range. This would be probably a mid-range powerhouse, but a skilled player with an ACE-23 could still do short work of a skilled player with the ACE-32, counted at the ACE-23 user, shot first. That is what it comes to. In the end, this is a first-person shooter. The one who shoots first wins. That is the way it should be. Of course, if the ACE-32 is maybe more accurate and goes for a headshot, is going to have the upper hand. Now, guys, that was the ACE-23 and the possibility of having an ACE-32 into the game. Hope you guys enjoyed the review and do have a nice one. See ya.